5609 Radio and Media, and today we have Mr. Tim back in the place to be, and we're going to talk about Pleasantville concerned citizens. Okay, brother, can you let the people know what they need to know?
Yes, good evening, Brother James. Glad you have me on your show again.
Our pleasure.
Pleasantville Concerned Citizens. We just formed this community organization here in Pleasantville. The reason why we formed it is because some of the battles we've been fighting over the last year, it's been a handful of people just going back and forth with city council, and it kind of reflects like all it is a few people that are really having concerns expressed, and it's not representing the community.
Right.
And so we decided it would be a good idea to actually form a community-based organization. And one of the main reasons why we formed that is because, do you recall them talking about putting a dump in Pleasantville?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, that was actually a trash transfer facility where they would take stuff from tearing down buildings, put it on train cars, and send it out of town. However, just last week or two, the governor passed an environmental justice law that says for anything like that to come into Pleasantville, which is defined as an overburdened community, they basically have to talk to a community-based organization before they can just go forward with their plans.
It makes sense.
We did not have, to my knowledge, any community-based organization that they would have to actually deal with.
Right.
Now we do.
That's right.
Pleasantville Concerned Citizens Incorporated. We are not a nonprofit organization. We're not a 501c, but we are here to represent the interests of the people.
Exactly.
You know, if you saw the city council meeting, well, it's not up yet, but if you see the city council meeting of just last night, May 1st, it'll give you a taste of what we do.
Okay.
You know, we really stand up for the best interests of the citizens of Pleasantville.
Right.
And we do things that people don't even know is going on. We're going to have our very first meeting Thursday night, May 4th at 5:30 at the Pleasantville Library, in the meeting room there at the library.
And for those that don't know, where is the Pleasantville Library located?
The Pleasantville Library is located on 1st Street, right next to City Hall in Pleasantville, near Washington Avenue and 1st Street.
Okay.
And we are going to be welcoming all the new members. We've already have on our list over 50 members. Yes. Brother James just joined, so he makes
5609 Radio.
He's in the house.
That's right.
Yes, and it really says that when we speak on issues, we don't speak just as individuals with our opinions on matters.
Right.
In our meetings, we will discuss issues, and we will come to a consensus of the membership that's at the meetings. What do you think about this? And maybe we actually get some different points of view we haven't even considered.
Absolutely.
You know, the less than 12 people who've been basically getting together and fighting these battles. But we want community involvement and community engagement. So when we speak, we're not speaking on behalf of ourselves, but Pleasantville Concerned Citizens is speaking on behalf of the Pleasantville community. And they have said, and that's why we will represent those things at City Council.
Now, for those that may make their appearance at this meeting, will they be able to sign up to join?
Absolutely. You can join right there. We'll have the membership and everything there. The membership is only $10 a year. We set up $10 a year because
$10.
$10.
That's official. There's no added fees. It's literally $10.
$10.
Yep.
You bring a cash or a check written out to Pleasantville Concerned Citizens Incorporated, and we'll be glad to have you join our membership. You know, our membership is open to all Pleasantville residents, business owners, business operators, excluding the top tier of our city administration, because we feel that could potentially be a conflict of interest with the goals and purposes of our organization.
Absolutely.
You know, it may, as some of you maybe know, I was considering running for city council in this upcoming June primary, but when this issue came to my mind that we need a community-based organization, I basically scrapped that idea for now.
Oh, okay.
I scrapped it for now because this needs to get up and running. City council members are excluded from membership. So should I be on city council, I'll have to leave the organization I create. Right. So be it.
Until Until or if you leave office.
Yeah, until and if I leave office, right?
Okay.
Yes, that's because that's how it needs to work.
Absolutely.
Really, even though the meeting is open to the public, it's at the library.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I invited Mayor Ward to come to our first meeting.
Excellent.
We want people to hear what's going on, hear the concerns. Mayor Ward has her ward meetings the second Tuesday of every month at the same room in the library.
Okay.
And that serves a very good function. It's an informal environment where we get to talk about issues of our concern, and she shares some things with us. And we don't have the structure of the city council. Sometimes she has city council persons there, but I'm glad that she actually established that.
Right.
And this will dovetail there because we're going to get a broader consensus from the community of what they think about matters.
Right. She seems to be concerned with the city. From the brief meetings I've attended that she was present in.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be genuinely about Pleasantville,
Mm-hmm.
so that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes, as what has happened in Pleasantville over the years is no one's really been there at city council meetings to express any interest or concern. So they've been there basically for the last 20, 30 years, as far as I know.
Can I interject?
Sure.
I was just speaking to someone about the same thing earlier. Because a lot of people come to me, not even necessarily just about Pleasantville, but about issues that affect communities. And it's the same thing like he just said. Everyone has an opinion about everything, but they don't show up where the opinion should be expressed,
Mm-hmm.
which is at these meetings.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing yourself and your service, not your service, you're doing yourself and your community a disservice by not coming to these meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect you all to speak up every time you come, but at least absorb
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, so then later you can make an educated communication towards the city or town you're representing and have these concerns about. Because just having backdoor conversations and private conversations is not fixing situations.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's well said. You really have to put it out there what your concerns are, and sometimes your concerns can be addressed, sometimes they can't. But at least you have it on the table. But what happens is a lot of times, city council persons, mayors, etc., they tend to get people in their ear that are basically salesmen.
Right.
Salesmen for their interests.
Yes.
And they pitch things to the city and sometimes convince city council members or the mayor or something that this is a good deal or a good, and they don't hear, it's like a sales pitch. They don't tell you both sides of the story. They tell you what sounds good, and they end up going for a lot of things. And at the city council meetings, if you attend, you would notice they really don't discuss the issues that they vote on very much. They have their little committee meetings and things like that where they make their decisions, and those are like closed to the public. And when you come to the meeting, they don't read the ordinance or resolution that they're ready to present. They just say, resolution such and such, and give you one sentence about what it's about. Any questions, none heard, vote on it. Yes, 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 yes.
Right.
And this is putting an end to a lot of that.
As it should be.
Yes, indeed. We look at that agenda, what's coming up. We have conversations with our council people, and when there's something that needs to be delved into, we go down to that city hall, do open requests, do whatever it takes to get the information, and then do research.
Right.
You may have heard something about a sewer deal. Leasing a sewer system deal.
Right.
Actually, there's 2 city council persons that are still wanting to do that, despite the fact that we fought that long and hard last year to get that action stopped.
And your guys should do your due diligence and find out who they are and keep them in mind when it comes time for re-election.
Mm-hmm.
Hold them accountable. If they don't give you nothing, you should not give them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
they say it's a good idea because, they'll do this, they'll do this. But when we came to fight the issues, we really came to understand that they had no clue what the contract they were going to enter into said. They were just given a sales pitch, and that's what they were going by.
And that's a common thing?
No, that's very common. There was a history of a scenario such as this in Bayonne, New Jersey.
Okay.
They entered into a sewer concession deal in 2012. But there was a different scenario. They had lots of problems with their sewer, and they couldn't see a way out. They entered into an agreement that would give them $143 million right up front to fix their problems to get things situated that they needed to address. Here, they were going to give us $15,000.
Oh, my goodness.
And they were ready to go into this thing where they give us $15,000 up front. And you got your council president, Councilman Sistrunk, saying, "Oh, that's such a good deal. Look at all the things we could do with that $15 million." Someone came to a accountant, somebody came to last night's city council meeting and said straight up that wouldn't go far at all. That money would be just gone just like that. And he was kind of taken aback by that comment.
That could barely help a household.
For real. And in the agreement, it said it will give you up to $78 million over 39 years. And that sounds like a lot. However, this is the trick to that. The taxpayers, they charge directly to your sewer bill. The owner of a house, you pay your sewer bill along with your property taxes every quarter. That's how it works. Even if you rent, it gets incorporated into what you have to pay. That bill would have costed all the residents and businesses of Pleasantville over that same 39 years over $300 million. The city gets up to $78 million, and we have to pay up, actually would have been more because of inflation, over $300 million. We said, no, we got to shut down. This is what we do. Right. we fight for, and we don't expect, everybody has their lives. Everybody can't be engaged like this. But somebody's got to do it, and we've kind of like found our way into doing this, and now we have a voice that is actually heard at City Hall. So I encourage you to join our organization. If you just want to check things out, come to the meeting Thursday night at the library at 5:30. You'll hear what we're about, and you'll hear how things will flow. And we appreciate your participation as a community because Pleasantville needs to get strong.
That's right.
One of the things that keeps Pleasantville down, and we talked about this before, is the voting.
Oh, absolutely.
Voting has always been a problem in Pleasantville in terms of the amount of voter participation.
Yes, sir.
At the last election, as I said the last time, about 13% of the registered voters voted on election day in November, the last election. That's less than half, or about half of the county average of people that came to vote. If you don't vote, you don't get heard.
That's right.
You know how that goes.
That's right.
These commissioners and state senators and whoever else, they listen to the people who they know are going to have an influence on whether they're going to get elected or not.
That's right.
When they look at Pleasantville and see 13%, we don't really need to care with that. We take that little piece of chunk of action money or whatever we have control over, and we're going to give it to somebody we know is going to, in the long run, say, oh, they did this for us, and they will be out to support us when we run for re-election.
That's right.
Pleasantville, we got to get on that. We have to increase our voter turnout. And I would like to share a few things about voting. If you go to vote, you may not realize this, but you do not have to vote for every position that you see on that ballot.
And what you mean by that?
So, for example, in the upcoming primary, you're going to have one there, the state senator, and maybe assembly persons, and commissioners, and city council people. There's no mayors, because the mayors is only on presidential years. But they're all going to be on the ballot, and it'll say choose one, choose two, choose three, whatever. And a lot of people will just go right down the line, column A, vote, 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 vote. Know who you're voting for. A lot of people don't realize this.
Not to cut you off,
sure.
But what's dangerous about that?
Dangerous about that is you may get persons in office that really don't have your best interest at heart. A lot of politicians are just ego tripping. They like to wear what I call shiny badges. I really feel that way about it.
And what does that mean?
That means that they like to walk around in a suit, shiny council person badge. Being like it's an esteemed day. I don't fault nobody for it. Right. It's human nature. Everybody wants to be somebody.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. I think that's fine. But sometimes I think the only reason why people do those jobs is to get that type of attention and notoriety. And that can become a problem when they're going to listen to a business interest that doesn't have your interest at heart and do what they want instead of what's in your interest. And it could be a problem. So we got to be very careful about that.
Now I have a question. Now, what I've noticed from us covering different issues in Pleasantville is a lot of times the youth are very, very, very seldom. Let me start over. The youth seldomly participates in this, even though it affects them probably the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, the sewer deal was for a 39-year deal. I'm going to be long gone before that thing even gets near the end of the deal. There's other things they're trying to do in Pleasantville, like on the old Pleasantville High School site by the bay. They're trying to get a deal pushed through where the developer, first of all, he was given, I'll say given because it's practically given, he was able to purchase that property, prime property, for $250,000. Right there on the bay. And there's much value than that, but that's the deal he got. And he wants to put, as the last time he presented at the city council, 180 1 and 2 bedroom apartments on that facility. One bedroom starting at $1,900 a month. Okay, you want to do your business, do your business. But what he also wanted is a 30-year tax abatement through a pilot program, which means he would only pay a quarter of the taxes that anyone else would normally pay for the same value property. In other words, and we did the math on the thing. It's blowing, mind-blowing, man. The math comes out like this. An apartment right there on the bay, prime property in Pleasantville, per apartment, the city would get less money than California apartments or Pleasant Acres. That's the kind of deal they were trying to do. The developer guy came, a redevelopment guy, Rick Jeanette, he comes to the first meeting with us, was challenged by us, and said, the only way this can be done is 30 years. We need this 30-year deal, only way it can be done. After fighting this thing a couple of weeks, comes back a couple of weeks later, okay, we'll do it for 22. I thought it could only be done in 30 years. Now you come talking 22. And as we talked about, as the city and people started understanding how these pilot programs are not helping us, all these houses, from the Woodlands through the Maine and Milan project, all these housing projects they've done in Pleasantville over the last 20 years or so, they all got 30-year pilots. They're all paying 25% of the tax revenue that they should be paying.
Right.
And they got these 30-year deals quiet as kept.
And it seems like there's no local companies engaging in any of these profits. It's all out of towners.
All out of towners. Now the guy who wants to build here, I don't know where he lives, but he's the one that built the ShopRite over there at EHT and the Shires, all those housing units. He's a big guy, but yeah, he tells us he's got to do this project in Pleasantville. He's got to get a 30-year deal and pay a quarter of the taxes anybody else say. I say build it and pay your taxes. This is my personal view.
That's right.
I don't like pilot programs. I believe Pleasantville has value. I don't look at us a city in dire need. Oh, and we don't give them what they want, they won't come. Don't come. That's and right. You build your stuff and have your way. Look at Atlantic City. Look at all the white people coming to Atlantic City and living these days. It ain't like it used to be with that kind of mentality. And I'm not trying to hear that the only way they're going to do it is they can get over on the Pleasantville taxpayers. Meanwhile, we pay full taxes for everything. No. We say no. And the consensus in the community on that particular Bayfront property is nobody's willing to accept more than 15 years on that deal. And we're only giving you the 15-year deal because you'll be used to giving everybody 30-year deals.
Exactly.
And they got another one coming up right there at what's the street over there? Ashland Avenue and Tilton Road, next to T-Birds. They want to build apartments there. Townhouses, man, for purchase. With a 30-year pilot, where they only pay 25% of their taxes.
Wow. So like 30 years is the going thing, like Pleasantville. Yeah,
we're trying to put a stop to that. Stop giving the city away. This is our position, and this has been my position. And when we have our meeting, we're may get into some of these issues because it's not going to be just about complaining. We're going to have conversations back and forth with the community, get your concerns out. But we want to get the people understanding what's going on because a lot of people think I'm talking about. If I didn't speak on it, or you don't watch these city council meetings, you don't know about any of this stuff.
That's right.
I wouldn't have known about it unless I got involved with this thing.
That's right.
And
he's the reason that Vibe 609 is aware of all this, because we didn't know neither.
Yeah, a whole lot.
That's the truth. But how they say back in the day, learning is half the battle.
Absolutely. You
learn and then you take action on what you've learned, and that's what he's speaking of right now.
Yeah. So join Pleasantville Concerned Citizens, and even if you can't attend a meeting, just by being a member, you become represented because you are part of that body that they're dealing with. And you we have communications where even if you can't come to a meeting, you can send an email saying what I think about this or that. Right. I saw the meeting, or we haven't set up to broadcast our meetings yet because, like I said, this is the very first meeting come Thursday.
Yes.
But not to ramble on, but I do want to go back to another important thing about the voting.
What's that?
Do you realize that if you go into that voting booth and you don't like any of the candidates, you can simply go in there and push the finish button and vote for no person and get counted as a voter? Did you know that? Yes.
If you knew that already, please leave that in the comment.
Yeah, I mean, because when they look at the stats, they look at how many people voted. They're not saying how many people voted for this one or that one and this one or that one.
Right.
It's the voting that counts. So if everybody in Pleasantville just came in there and pushed the button and didn't vote for a single candidate, that would make Pleasantville so much stronger, and they would have to give attention to the city.
Now, for those that don't know, how would that make it stronger?
It makes it stronger by when they, like politicians, they are looking to. They get money, you know, as legislators and things like that. They know where the pots of money are available from the federal government, from certain grants and certain this and that, and it kind of gets it into their hands. And then as they represent 8 areas. For example, the state senator seat that's going to be coming up this year. He represents a whole lot of cities around, not just Pleasantville, Atlantic City, but a whole lot of cities all around this area. So if there's, say, for example, some money comes up that he knows about to fix the streets, and it's a couple million, $1 billion grant, talk real money, $1 billion grant. Who do you think he's going to give it to? You going to think he's going to take that to the mayor of a city where the people don't vote, or a place where he can take it where the people do vote, and by him presenting it there, they're going to go clap, 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 clap. Oh, we're going to definitely vote for you the next time because you brought that to our city.
Right.
It's the politics of the deal, and we got to realize we got to be in the game, and that voting becomes your way of having a participation in that game. Yes, indeed.
I look forward to seeing you guys add your comments and questions at the bottom of this. This is real, and it's mind blowing how much the people of the town have been rocked completely to sleep, have been just trusting in their voted and elected officials without second guessing or questioning any of their actions or behaviors. Unbelievable. This is what makes things get out of control. And this is why it's so important that he created what he's created in order to combat that, because it's time to wake up. Everybody's talking about woke. Being woke means being awake to what's going on, what benefits and hurts you as a citizen or a person of Pleasantville. You know what I mean? If you don't speak, you won't be heard. You know, so I encourage y'all to come to this meeting and learn more and play a part, because everything is falling apart because y'all just doing too much trusting and not enough legwork.
Exactly. And to the other point you said about the young people, you hit the nail on the head right there. It's so important to get the younger people in our community involved and engaged. They are a lot of young people in this community that I come talk to. Some people just don't realize that some people think you have to be 21 years old to even vote.
How old do you have to be to vote?
18. You could actually register to vote at 17. And when you turn 18, you're eligible to vote. And that's an important power that all these kids have. High school seniors, juniors and seniors, a lot of them.
Now, not to cut you off, but in the hood, right, a lot of people were told that my vote won't matter.
Yep.
Can you please speak to that? I'll be right back.
Well, I just kind of shared in many ways how your vote does matter. You may not realize it matters. You think some people say, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Trust and believe, if you watch the city council meetings over this last year, you will come to find that with enough voice of the community, they don't follow that script because they are concerned about getting reelected. And when we come, no, and we do say yes to support things as well, it gets heard. But you have to be a voter and you have to participate in the system to be able to be heard. In years past, I was involved with the Jokers organization. I was like their business administrator for several years. And they have a Bridge the Gap program that's going to be starting soon along with practice season beginning. And I'm looking to go over there and work with the kids with homework help and things like that. And don't get it twisted. Part of my mission is also to inform the parents of these kids about their need to get involved with what's going on in our city in terms of voting, in terms of participating in our organization, or in participating in just the things other than the sports that their children are involved with. We also need to engage the Hispanic community with the soccer players and things like that. There's a lot that needs to be done in Pleasantville. But I work in the school system. I'm an instructional aide. For 15 years I've worked in the Pleasantville school system. So I see a lot of what's going on, and so we're looking to make things better.
That's right. That sounds great. And that's a good motivation tool to a lot of these lost youth that's just strolling Main Street all day, not realizing that their lives can be different, you know. So just let them know you could be playing a part in your community to help it instead of deteriorate it.
One of our members, Renee Brown, she's a soldier.
Okay.
She's actually the secretary of our organization, and she's got an idea that she's going to propose at the next Mayor's Awards meeting to figure out some way that the city can actually hire young people to do cutting grass. A lot of houses around Pleasantville are poorly maintained. You drive from Northville, hit Pleasantville, and then go out Lapseek, and then you know just a difference in just how lawns are kept and lawns are maintained. Granted, a lot of people can't do it, but we're looking, just throwing ideas out there.
That's excellent.
You know, and if there's a way for it to happen, I'm sure the mayor may give it consideration, and it just may happen. Those are the things we do as community organization.
That's a great point because, you know, I've never seen such young people begging for change like I see now in Pleasantville. Because, you know, we're located at 61 North Main Street in Pleasantville, right around the corner from the library where the meeting's going to be at. So we see a lot of people that could utilize something like that, and they're young. They're not old guys and women like from back in the day. You'll see the elders out there, you know, struggling with life. But there are youth now going through that. So if you are watching this broadcast as a youth that's stuck on the street, y'all have programs and things you can be a part of to earn a little cash so you don't have to beg.
And we're working on trying to establish a program like that. You know, I mean, the city has ordinances and things that make just say you maintain your property. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys can't make jungles on Main Street. But somehow I have a neighbor down a couple doors from me. Most of the time it looks like a jungle over there, and it's like, so like, why, you know? But maybe with a program like this, you know, we could do a carrot and stick thing and make Pleasantville look better. That's one of her main concerns, and that's why I'm sharing it with you tonight.
Now, when not to change the subject, but when we was in Atlantic City about a year or so ago at the old location, me and another brother from the Culture Center teamed up with a couple officers from the police department, and because typically we be on different pages, but it was a woman, happened to be a melanated woman. That don't really matter, but I'm just putting that out there just in case. And she was in one of those electric chairs, and she got stuck in the rain. So she was she's about 300 plus pounds, right? So she was a pretty large sized woman. And long story short, everybody was just watching her for hours. So when I finally showed up from where I was taken care of, that's when we realized what was happening. Then we teamed up with the police, and we actually pushed that woman to her residence, which was about 10, 11 blocks away, taking turns, us, the police. And with the part that connects with the story is the police officers, which I'm not going to say their names, I don't know if they want to be mentioned. They said, we're surprised y'all helping us because no one cares anymore. And that brings me back to what you're saying. It seems like nobody cares no more. So to see that you care like you care, and everybody joining you obviously cares.
Absolutely.
That changes the whole narrative of everything.
No, yeah, it really does. You know, you'd be amazed how things have changed. The same city council president that wants to bring back that sewer deal, he's been on city council roughly 22 years, and because of our pushback, as I hear it, he doesn't want to run no more. Which is a good thing.
That's work. You gave him that work.
That's right, you know? That's right. You gotta represent you gotta represent the people. Some of them get it twisted. They think, you know, they are there to tell everybody what to do. No, they represent us. They represent the people. And the people have to know the power they have. That's also the value of voting and participation. You have power if you utilize that power. Bring it correct. Don't come in there all wild and crazy. You know, you don't go to city council meeting and want to cuss the mayor out or cuss the councilman. No, come correct.
That's right.
And you know, and another way of doing it is through an organization like ours. Don't come to our meetings crazy either, by the way. But just saying, if you bring issues and we can get, I was saying, well, that needs to be really brought up. We'll take on bringing it to the city council. And you don't have to worry about making that meeting, making this meeting. Just be involved. And that's what we're asking people to do.
And I'm going to say, and I only have a log in the fire, but I'm going to say, if I was you guys, I would also donate, especially if you can't be hands-on, donate to the cause. Because this brother's been doing this out of his own pocket this whole time. You know what I mean? And he's going to continue. But with some extra help and support and financial stability, just imagine how far this can go.
Exactly, you know.
He's not going to even that. He never does. I'm mentioning it because I know with more financial support and everything, that empowers him to get better equipment, to rent different rooms, to get everything he needs to be more successful and creating to taking this group to the next level.
Absolutely, because if this thing really blows up, that library room's too small.
That's right.
We can
when it blows up.
Yeah, when.
You got to claim your victory.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Oops. Yeah, when it blows up, we're going to have to find a bigger venue to have our meetings, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You know, that's an absolutely beautiful thing. You know, we could actually use the facilities of the high school and things like that, but you have to pay fees to do those kind of things. But we'll be, you know.
Well, Vibe 609 is definitely going to make a donation, and we're going to do it on the next time we hook up, and we're going to make sure the people can see it. It might not be one to knock it all out the park, but everything starts with the first step.
And that reminds me of something that has nothing to do with myself or the Pleasantville Concerned Citizens. I don't know if you know Brother Marvin Royal.
I've heard that name.
Well, he's been around for a long time in Pleasantville. He was involved with the Jokers. He's been on the school board.
Okay, yes,
he's been around a long time. He's been working with the city to actually get back the Joker House. The clubhouse is on Fernwood Avenue that the Jokers work out of. It's been owned by the city. And you could, if you know something about what goes on there's a lot of maintenance issues that don't get addressed. And they're working on actually getting the deed and everything transferred from the city to the organization. And he's going to be getting together an effort for volunteers in the community to work on that building, putting floors in, putting siding in, community.
That's awesome.
Community helping the community, and as that comes about, I would like to. I will be sharing more information about that on our Facebook page. By the way, Pleasantville Concerned Citizens has a Facebook page, but it's a private page. You join, you pay your $10 to join the organization. You search on your Facebook, Pleasantville Concerned Citizens, ask to be invited. You get invited in, and we put on there anything that we can come about that relates to the good of Pleasantville. A few things get put in the press. When most people don't get the press, we go to the press. I go to the press every morning just searching for something regarding Pleasantville. Something important, I take it, put it on our webpage so people can know what's going on. And the other things that come about, that's what we do on that page.
Absolutely.
And it becomes a one-stop place to find out what you need to know about what's going on in Pleasantville. That's what we hope to develop.
That's awesome. So make y'all contributions in which way you can. If you can do it financially, if you can offer sweat equity, which is more valuable actually in most cases, come and play your part. Don't just be proud of a town you put nothing back into. You know what I mean? Especially if this town has been good to you. Be back of assistance to the town. You know what I mean? And that's why we relocated our studio to Pleasantville, because it's a good place to be. And it's just, he couldn't have made it no clearer. You need participation, for things to be correct. And what you don't know, you won't know unless you try to find out. So make sure you guys follow up with the Facebook page, come to the meeting, and make yourself knowledgeable about the town you brag about so much.
And send your young people, your sons, your daughters, cousins, nieces, nephews, send them if they're of that proper age, early, late teens, early 20s, send them out. Send them. Ask them to go over to the library and check it out. Become part of things. And they may even catch that fever, which would be a very positive thing for Pleasantville.
That's
very
right.
Positive.
The young bucks need to come and assist the OGs. That's what we're basically saying. I got to talk, I take it somewhere else sometime.
Yeah.
But that's basically what's required, because at the end of the day, y'all are the guys that's going to inherit all of this work. Whatever he do, I do, and other elders do, you guys are the direct beneficiaries of that work.
Exactly.
So why not take part in it? So it can take some of the burdens off of the older folks, so we can use our brain more and put together more things, and you guys can use your legs more to make everything that much easier. You know what I mean? Fair exchange is no robbery.
Absolutely. And vote. Register to vote. I don't know if the deadline is passed to register to vote for the June primary, but just get in the practice of voting every June and every November. Get in the practice of voting. It's not hard to do. You register. There's an app you can put on your phone. You go to NJ Elections on your phone, in the Play Store or whatever.
Google Play Store.
Yeah, Google Play Store. Type in NJ Elections, and you'll see an app there. It has a state logo on it. It's a state website where you can register yourself to vote right there on your phone, and register anybody else.
Right.
Register to vote. Find out what the deadlines are. When the elections happen, you can find out the results. Utilize these things. Just you're talking around the table. Are you registered to vote? No. Let me hook you up. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I did at Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
You know, and I encourage everybody to do that. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
And you'll be willing to help everybody at the meeting to download the app right there on the spot.
Absolutely. We're going to have a session for getting on our Facebook page for those who have joined to have difficulty with that, as well as sharing information about this. I have a flyer out about this. I shared that the last time, but I'm going to have those flyers here about the voting thing. You know, it's just so important because Pleasantville, I love this town too. You know, I've been here 27 years. I've been here in Pleasantville, and I love this town, and I hate, you know, how we get like such a bad rep.
That's right.
And talked down, you know, basically crapped on by others. I went to National Night Out. That's an event they have in communities. Last one they had was on was it Tilton Road, and near Tilton Route 9.
Yes.
National Night, annual event. I went over to Mays Landings. I came 2 hours, then I went over to Mays Landing, and they had the Atlantic City Bomb Squad having an exhibit there at their National Night Out, and they had an exhibit of a pipe bomb, a package bomb, and it had on there written all kinds of crazy letters, misspelled and everything, addressed from Pleasantville to the president.
Oh my goodness!
That's how some think about us in Pleasantville.
That's hating.
I was pissed. I was pissed to see that. I shared that at city council meetings, and I say to people, "This is what we have to stop." You know, we don't stop. We got to stop selling ourselves short.
I can say some things he can't say. There are a lot of officials in Atlantic City that be hating, point blank. They sitting on different boards. They down with the CRDA and they down with City Hall. Talk about conflict of interest. There's a lot of disrespectful communications, and a lot of people trying to be mob bosses and John Gotti's instead of being of the people. So that's where that comes from.
Give me another example of something that's recently happened. And this was something not very important, but still we fought it. There was a resolution drafted, which is like a statement by City Council saying this is like what we support. It was a resolution to basically investigate the ACUA. They're the people who in Pleasantville collect your trash and the recycling and everything, the big place over there on Delilah Road. Because there are certain people on the county level and things have a bone to pick with him, the guy Rick Dobie, who was the president for like the last 25 years over there. And so they had this letter saying, we think the ACUA needs to be investigated. And they have a mayor's association where all the community mayors get together, I don't know how frequently, have a dinner, and out of that meeting came this, someone presented having a resolution brought before your city council to ask for an investigation of the ACUA. Now keep in mind, this is the same time they were talking about bringing that trash transfer station, quote unquote, the dump, to Pleasantville. It was presented at our city council. And I challenge it. Why are we signing a letter against the ACUA when the ACUA has no legal problems? And at the same time, the people around this whole thing, they're looking to bring their dump to Pleasantville. And so we had that resolution shut down. No, y'all are not going to agree to going after them for no good reason. And lo and behold, after checking all the surrounding communities' agendas, board meeting after board meeting after board meeting, none of them did it. They were ready to set Pleasantville up to look stupid again. This is what goes on, y'all. We got to be on it.
It's deep. It is deep. Woo! That's why it's so important that you guys and gals get engaged. Because if you don't, they gonna look at you as chattel. And the shepherd don't do nothing but lead the sheep. Wake up, Pleasantville. Wake up.
And see you Thursday night, 5:30 at the library.
That's right. Thursday night, 5:30. What's the address once again?
I forget the address. Is like 15 on 1st Street. It's right next to the City Hall on 1st Street near Washington Avenue, Martin Luther King and Washington Avenue.
That's right. That means directly across the street from the Pleasantville Police Department.
Right.
directly. Okay? So is there anything else you would like to add?
I think I'm all talked out, bro.
All right. my saying I like to use and leave with each ending is, I am you, you are me, we are everything.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure.